Tom Morello, man, he plays that guitar like a DJ. He was very innovative. I think he's the greatest guitarist alive.
He's getting real personal on Wyatt and Gary. He's like, none of you are good enough. You're especially not good enough. He's making real deep eye contact, and that's tough. Can I finish? Can I finish?
See, this is Dumbo. This is you. This is Dumbo. This is you. Anybody that talks about your ears is worse than a donkey flea on a donkey's behind. See, this is a toilet. This is you. This is you. This is the toilet.
Happened in the 90s.
My favorite album of my favorite band, in my opinion, the greatest band of all time, Rage Against the Machine.
I thought you were going to say Local Age, Steve.
Well, that album is up there too, man, and we'll talk about that because we share a personal experience with that band. But with Rage Against the Machine, man, I'll never forget. I was in the barber shop and they had an issue of Rolling Stone. This was the summer of '97, and on the cover of the Rolling Stone, it was RZA standing next to a guy with dreads. I was already a Wu-Tang stan at this point, 14 years old. We're like, man, who's this guy? Oh, that's that Rage band I keep hearing about. And I read that whole article on their tour. Wu-Tang Clan, they toured with Rage Against the Machine in '97. That piqued my interest even more. I was like, man, so these guys rap? They're not just like a rock band? When I started listening to them, some of the guys in Perrysburg, they were already on to Rage. Our friend Tony Nelly, man, who lived down the street from us, he was listening to us like, man, this dude can actually spit, man. And Rage Against the Machine basically became like my introduction to rock and roll music. I was solely R&B and rap.
I wouldn't say they were my introduction to rock and roll, but like good rock and roll, yes. And they still to this day, I always thought of Tool like this too, where it's like the amount of thought you're putting into everything related to what you do, the images, the music itself, the words you're putting in the music. Rage Against the Machine, for like our age group of dudes especially, like that was it, man. Bulls on Parade, I think that's one of those songs where you just played over and over and over again when you heard it.
And that was the song I think that made them mainstream. People could say Killing in the Name Of. I think that might have been their first radio hit. But man, when Bulls on Parade came out, it was opening of the floodgates. And they performed that song on SNL. And I didn't know about this until hindsight. They were one of the exclusive members to get booted and banned from SNL because when they performed that song, they had an upside down flag at the last second. Some guy from the production assistant, he took it down and they didn't even get to perform their second song. But like you said, man, they have a message behind their lyrics. And in my opinion nation, Zach De La Rocha is the greatest frontman of all time, man.
And Tom Morello, I mean, in a sea of like great guitarists, you know exactly who's playing the guitar when you hear it. He's one of those guys. You can't just, he plays it well, but he actually makes his own type of music and sounds out of a guitar that no one else can do. But Zach De La Rocha, dude, I mean, that guy's the epitome of cool. And I feel like, I mean this in the best way possible. Like, he could give a fuck about fame other than like the fact that it allows him to get his voice and like his message out to a large group of people, man. Because, I mean, they were on top of the world, dude. They were at #1 charts. That's huge.
Yeah. Without
a political band, you know, it's not like pop shit. It's this.
Without ever compromising themselves, man. They didn't care to make a radio hit. And Tom Morello, man, he plays that guitar like a DJ. He was very innovative. I think he's the greatest guitarist alive.
I can't even argue, dude. Especially when it's something that, you know, there's like people like the Van Halen dude. Like you can name people that can shred, Slash, you know, but he can just shred in the way, like a godlike way. But, you know, there's people that can probably make it sound like that. But I defy anyone to play guitar like Tom Morello. Show me.
And if you dare, because some of his methods, if you're not doing it right, you could die. Literally. Like taking out your plug and putting it on the string type ish to create this different sound. Like
it's crazy as fuck.
Yeah, you could short circuit yourself right there, man, like a radio falling in the tub. But the Woodstock performance they did in '99, I saw the recorded version of that, and that's when I decided this is my favorite band of all time. They rocked that crowd, man.
This is a band that is one of those bands where I don't even really like going to concerts that much, but to see them live, I feel like I wish I could have done that. There's a couple bands like that where it's like, man, I fucked up.
Yeah, they're still with us, man. So hey,
Yeah, maybe I still have time. You're right.
this is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your David Justice jerseys and your Out for Justice tapes. Because the microphone explodes, shattering the molds. Either drop the hits like they low or get the off the commode with the short shot. Sure to make the bodies dropping no copy, yo. Don't call this a co-op. Terror range drenching, quenching the thirst of the power dawn. That five-sided fist of gone. The rotten soul on the face of Mother Earth gets bigger. The trick is cold, empty your purse. Rally around the family. Pocket full of shells. They rally around the family. Pocket full of shells.
Damn, that was good, Steve. I didn't want to join in. I knew it. I knew the words, though.
Today, my friend, we're talking all things April 16th in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Working Girl premieres on NBC. The situation comedy based on the popular film featured more of the adventures of Secretary Tess McGill in an office setting. One season, 12 episodes.
Shut up, bitch!
That's what they said. That's what they said. I gotta be honest with you, Steve. You look this up. You can watch it. You can watch the few of the episodes
if you dare.
My God, the theme song in a world of '90s slapping ass hit theme songs. Even they couldn't get that right.
Couldn't get the guy who did all the TGIF stuff, man. Like maybe he was just on contract.
I mean, Working Girl, that was a big thing. I wasn't into it, but that was a huge movie. So just use some off that.
Well, the only reason I had it on the list, man, is because it was the introduction to Sandra Bullock, I guess.
Yeah. Wow, she really set the world on fire. See, I love that some coked up like producer was just hitting a rail, came up and was like Working Girl was on. He's like, get me that chick for the net.
Yeah, well, I mean, of all the movies to make into a TV show, like why not Gremlins? That ain't even cross your mind. I would have watched that. What about Back to the Future, the show? What about Breakfast Club show?
I know it wasn't that late in like TV at this point. What was it, 1990? There's already a vast array of secretary shows. So it's just, you weren't breaking any ground. And I tried, Steve. I was prepared to like the show and come on here and go, Steve, you're a hater, dude. Sandra Bullock, Speed, The Net.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no, it's not the case though. This is a big. There's a reason it only got one season. I'm really truly surprised it wasn't one of those shows where they show like the first 3 and are like, kill it, we're losing too much.
Yeah, I mean, out of those 12 episodes, only like 8 of them aired, maybe even half that.
Thank God.
Two things can be true. It can be a very bad show, and I can still be a hater. That following year, 1991, Temple of the Dog would have released their self-titled album, Cause I'm Going Hungry. Going hungry, yeah.
I knew that song.
Yeah.
But man, I didn't know anything about this band. I didn't know anything about the album. I don't know what I thought that song was. This freaking album, Steve, I'm trying not to cuss. This freaking album is fantastic. Front to back, bang.
Front to back.
I feel just ashamed I never knew about it. I mean, it's grunge heavy. We got Cornell and Vedder. Come on.
How could you not? Yeah. Anything Chris Cornell in the 90s is scorching hot, man. And then the song pushing through the sun, I'm going pushing. At first, I thought he want pussy. I was like, don't we all, Cornell?
All right. Well,
I want pussy.
But I was like listening to this, like, how was this not more of a thing? And then I did my research, and prior to him passing, rest in peace, Chris Cornell, somebody asked him that exact question. They were like, "This is so good. Like, why didn't you guys ever do it?" And he was like, "Because this is like a tribute album for a guy that died," which I didn't realize that. It's for Andrew Wood, who was the late singer of Mother Love Bone.
Okay.
Okay. So but it was a tribute album. So he's like, it's kind of like sad that you don't really want to like base your whole band off of your friend dying or whatever. But also, like, man, me and Eddie Vedder were in extremely successful bands in the 90s. So it was just like, I guess they've done concerts, which, man, that would be what a banger of a concert to get to see. But man,
hell yeah.
I highly encourage people to listen to this because it is a banger.
In 1993, Benny and June premieres. A mentally ill young woman finds her love in an eccentric man who models himself after Buster Keaton. Directed by Jeremiah S. Chechnik, starring Johnny Depp, Mary Stuart Masterson, Aidan Quinn, Julianne Moore, and Oliver Platt.
Yeah, and a couple other notables, Steve. Dan Hedaya, who's just killing the 90s if you're paying attention.
He was in the movie that we talked about last week.
He's in a couple movies this week, Steve. And he was in a movie I referenced last week, Shaft from 2000. He was one of the crooked cops. But also a notable person for you and me, CCH Pounder's up in this biatch, Steve. The
Pound Town?
Sucker time. It's supper time.
Oh, man.
CCH Pounder's a ledge, though, so check her out. But I don't know, Steve. I'm interested to hear what you think of this. I love Johnny Depp. I never really dug this movie as a younger person. Watching it now, it's not one of my favorite Depps. I'm going to be honest.
What happens when two tards fall in love?
Yeah. But I will say this. This is me being fat and just acknowledging that. There's a scene where Johnny Depp's cooking grilled cheeses with an iron in this movie. I'll take one of those, Steve.
Oh, yeah. Those looks like some juicy grilled cheeses. The main thing I remember from the movie was the song. And I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500
That's
more.
90s right there. Just to be the man. I love that. I also remember where he's doing the little bread dance with the forks. That was always like in the trailer. I remember that. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I tried doing it a couple times. It didn't work out. So, yeah. Special needs movie.
Pretty much.
Light special needs, though. These are high. I mean, the Johnny Depp is like a car mechanic, I think.
And he's...
And he needs to be a pizza maker because he can just be spinning stuff on his fingers, Steve. He spins a hubcap on his finger like he's in the Globetrotters.
And he's also a magician of some sort, but they call it eccentric. I call it one of those points on the spectrum.
He's been touched.
Yeah. Also in 1993, Boiling Point premieres. A pair of sociopath killers take on the police and the mob in order to make one last big score. Directed by James B. Harris, starring Wesley Snipes, Dennis Hopper, Lolita Davidovich, Viggo Mortensen, and Dan Hedaya.
Dan Hedaya, Steve, again.
Bang.
Also, Mike Almondtrot is in this movie again.
Jonathan Banks, man.
Guys all over the place. We've talked about him a couple times. Viggo Mortensen, to me, is always tied to Lord of the Rings now. I like seeing him play a scumbag, Steve. He's a great scumbag, too. Carlito's Way plays a great scumbag. And in this, scumbag who's not hesitant to just blast on somebody either. He'll con you and then just shoot you right in the chest.
And he was a scumbag in Perfect Murder with Michael Douglas and Gwyneth Paltrow.
I mean, he was also kind of a scumbag in that movie History of Violence. That was like a Cronenberg film where he was like a hidden assassin or something. Also, he's 69 to chick in that movie. So shout out to Viggo, just completely dominating everything in his life.
Ooh.
Ooh, you gonna do that? Ooh, Viggo. Ooh.
Ass. Kitty. Want eat it?
I mean, this is a Snipes film. I remember the cover that you're showing behind you. But again, as far as Snipes movies goes, there's just so much better than this. But this ain't bad.
And I don't think it deserved the bad ratings, the bad reviews that it got, because it was universally panned by critics, man. And in comparison to early 90s Wesley, really, just like Chris Cornell in the 90s, when it comes to early 90s Wesley, I mean, Passenger 57, New Jack City, Sugar Hill,
Demolition Man, Steve. I mean, that's kind of early 90s, right?
You know, it's 93. Yeah.
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 And he's good in it. He's a criminal, but he's taking down like corrupt cops. Hopper, this is an interesting Dennis Hopper portrayal because he's kind of a bitch in it, to be honest. He's coming out of prison. He owes guys money. That's kind of his motivation. I got to say, the look, though, if you look at him in this and then bring up a picture of him in the Super Mario Brothers movie where he's playing like a Bowser mafioso guy, I feel like they pulled him right off the set of Mario Brothers and into this because he's got that slick hair, and I think he might even be wearing the same suit, to be honest.
In the movie has Paul Gleason, you know, from Breakfast Club. Play with the bull, get the horns.
Yeah, man. But just shout out to Dan Hedaya, who I didn't realize was such a prolific, like, second guy, you know, that other guy, like one of the backups.
You didn't notice it growing up in the 90s, man, but like, dude, he's in everything.
I mean, do you own LA at this point? Because his credit list has to be like 200 deep, you know, and at least 100 of that's like 90s.
Who's the guy from Quantum Leap? Was it Al?
Yeah, that guy probably has a hell of an IMDb list too.
He looks like he could be like the crazier brother of Al.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The one that'll fight. Al seems like the one that'll be sensible. He'll try to talk to you. Like Dan Hedaya's like, oh, I'm with the shits.
He'll steal that little calculator that Al has and sell it in a pawn shop. Look, it'll take you to other dimensions. Here, man, $20. Jesus.
Yeah. Trying to go to 56. I want to see the Rat Pack. Give it to me. But also in 1993, No Place to Hide premieres. A tough LA cop and the teen sister of the ballerina whose murder he's investigating become targeted by a sinister cult that secretly runs the city. Directed by Richard Danis, starring Chris Christopherson, Drew Barrymore, Martin Landau, OJ.
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
OJ Simpson, Day Young, and Bruce Weitz.
I mean, also Kane Hodder, Steve, who played Jason. He was the body of Jason in the Ridge. So Kane Hodder, horror movie celebrity, but this movie is worth watching for about 2 minutes. I mean, OJ's in a wheelchair, Steve. All right? Right there. And at some point, I love this. This is totally 90s. Chris Christopherson, I get it. He's a cop. He's investigating the murder of Drew Barrymore's sister. He's taking her and having her live in his house. But all of a sudden, he's just like, I'm going to call my buddy OJ up, who's in a wheelchair. OJ shows up to babysit a little girl, which in hindsight is hilarious.
I feel safe now. Yeah. Thanks for bringing in your handicapped friend to save my life. Everything about this.
At one point, Steve, when the first time he's introduced, he shows up and like Chris Christopherson's like, well, if she does anything, like call me. He's like, nah, I'll just bonk her on the head. But he has like a big ass like sledgehammer thing in his. I was like, why is this? Do you do this for the fucking joke? What's going on here?
Dude, yeah, and that's my favorite part. With OJ, he comes out, the toughs, they come to the house and they got guns. They're all armed. And then OJ answers the door and the one dude, he gets unarmed by a guy in a wheelchair. Like, you guys aren't good at your jobs. If I report back to my boss and say like, man, I lost my gun, what, to the guy in the wheelchair? You're not a good henchman. Yeah. You're horrible.
Also, when you see OJ disarm this guy, it is one of the craziest. It looks like he's possessed because he's like, and then the paralyzed guy gets shot in the back, which is just a kick in the nuts.
But that dude almost got his ass beat by OJ, man. All of you guys suck. And this happened in 93, which was exactly a year before, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy too. But just shout out to the guy OJ nearly disarms and like takes down, who looks like one of Carl Winslow's cop buddies. He's like an old fat dude that's just like, And he just psycho. I mean, OJ goes out like a G though. He's crippled. He gets hit. I mean, he takes a headshot to take his ass down.
All the players want to disown this movie. Chris Christopherson, he's like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Drew Barrymore said she took it because she needed work. And Martin Landau is just like, man, why you want to know about that movie? Shout out to Martin Landau.
Like Christopherson's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do that. And they're like, Chris, here's the movie. Is that you? He's like, that ain't me, man. I don't, that's AI. I don't know.
Right. I mean, everything about it was bad, man. The acting, the script, the guy who made it, Richard Danis, like that was his only film. Like he's
why. I mean, but the scene with OJ taking down the toughs, find it and watch it. It's great. It's one of the best things I've ever seen.
That following year, 1994, Weird Science is airing season 1, episode 6, Airball Kings. Gary and Wyatt want to be on the basketball team, and Lisa zaps the coach so that he does just that. But she doesn't give them any extra talent, and the team suffers.
Lisa. Again, showing you how easy it is to infiltrate a high school when you're a fully grown woman, though. She just walks in and takes over. So I love that. I love that she's in a cheerleading outfit for 99% of this. Yeah, man, we've all been here. Wyatt and Gary, they're always getting picked on by the jocks, Steve. Maybe not you. Maybe not me. But these guys are.
They're seeing all the attention that these hoopers, the basketball players, are getting. Oh man, they get all the clout, they get all the acclaim, they get all the hoes. Man, I wish I was a little bit taller.
Damn, I wish I was a baller, honestly. But Wyatt's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm pretty cool just playing this NBA Jam on Game Gear. I'm on fire right now, dude.
I love those generic 90s show video games. And Wyatt's like, man, I don't even want to play basketball. I can't play basketball.
We're not athletes, man. We can't do it. But Gary's like, dude, we gotta get some biatches. We gotta get on this team. We gotta try out. So that's where we go.
The coach, he's like, none of you are good enough until you prove me otherwise.
He's getting real personal on Wyatt and Gary. He's like, none of you are good enough. You're especially not good enough. He's making real deep eye contact, and that's tough.
All of a sudden, Lisa shows up. Like, I think at one point, Gary tells Wyatt, shut up and dribble. It was like, man, come on, dude. You work for Fox News?
Hey, oh, yes. So, yeah, Lisa shows up, and Gary, who's the blonde guy, I was getting confused. I actually thought the blonde guy was Wyatt. My mistake. But Gary's like, yeah, dude, Lisa's here. Shut up, man. She's going to hook us up. Thinking, oh, I'm going to become like a Harlem Globetrotter out here. She's going to hook me up with superpowers and whatnot. She puts this spell on the coach, but doesn't accentuate the skill set at all, Steve. I mean, Gary is throwing up these insane just airball layups that I can't even explain. Like, physically, it doesn't make sense.
And layup is a metaphor for something being easy. He literally can't do it. Like, he's airballing a layup.
And he's hitting that like dribble that's just completely out of control where you're moving forward, but that ball could go anywhere at any time. It's the Stanley in the Office dribble where you're like, what the fuck is what?
But the coach, he's mesmerized. That was the greatest shot I've seen since John Wilkes Booth.
Sheer poetry. And I love all the real basketball players like, yo, coach, what, coach?
What?
You got Alzheimer's or something?
Yeah. And in the next scene, they have varsity jackets already. The cheerleaders, they're filling them. It's like, it's funny how we never noticed you before.
I like how big the Letterman, they're walking around like the little rascals guys faking adulthood. They just got like the sleeves are huge. Even the teachers, they're like, hey guys, you guys are basketball players. Is this what it was like, Steve, when you were an athlete? Were the teachers just like, oh, well, you need more time to play ball, Steve. Here's a nice, really.
Some of, and this was in middle school sometimes, man.
Hell yeah. Well, they're getting that kind of treatment, but why? It's weird. Like, yo, dude, A B, I appreciate a B, but shouldn't you be reading this shit? And the guy's like, don't worry about it. Don't hurt yourself. And he's like, but I usually get A's. And the guy's like, okay. All right. Don't get greedy here.
We don't care. You could have been held back 5 years as long as the team stays together. And now they're at the cafeteria. They're questioning, like, dude, we're short. We don't dribble. We shoot nothing but air balls.
What's going on here? And the rest of the basketball team, they try to sit down with the squad, and it's getting real crickety over there. There's a lot of silence, a lot of angry glares, Steve.
I dealt with that too on the basketball team. Like, I swear, Perrysburg was the downfall of I wouldn't have met one of my best friends here, man. But at the same time, man, it really did a number on me. Like, sidetrack, man. You know that guy, Pat Gill. He lived in our neighborhood. His house was behind us. Yeah. So, once I realized that, I was like, oh, man, we should hang out. After practice, we could shoot some hoops. So I ride my bike to his house after one of our practices, man. It's like, hey, man, remember we talked we were going to hoop? And, dude, his family's there watching the Packers game. They were big Packers fans. It was awkward silence. And Pat opened the door. He's like, oh, okay, sure.
What?
And we shot around for like probably 5, maybe 10 minutes. And he was like, all right, man, I got to go back and watch the game. And that was just like, in hindsight, dude, like, this is what we're dealing with. When I was in the city, bro, it was a vibe. We all connected after practice, before we hung out, man. So Perry's, it was just a whole different vibe, man. Sorry to sidetrack.
Oh, dude, I came in 5th grade. Same thing for me. Everybody was cool with each other. I go to this new school, and it's like, God damn, this is a little heavier than I'm used to. I didn't really used to get insulted or like moved into this weird group of people that I was like you were stuck with. But yeah, dude, it is wild, man. And especially for you being one of maybe 5 black people that were in Perrysburg, that's got to add a little extra level of like, what the fuck to it.
For sure, man. So ever since then, I've been like, man, F some Pat Gill. But straight up, man.
Fuck Pat Gill. I don't give a fuck. I don't like him either.
And fuck Noah Schwinn too, you punk bitch. But now we see Lisa. She's with the other cheerleaders. And the principal says he's excited to see some new cheers.
He immediately is like, yo, excuse me, are you in the wrong spot? And she throws like a Jedi mind trick on him. Is like, no, I'm exactly where I need to be. And he gets put under her spell, which no magic needed.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hell yeah, man. Help these girls out. By the way, I'm here to help too. Let me help you out.
Yeah. Head cheerleader. Yeah. I got some head for you. And so, I mean, Lisa, she's the head of the cheerleading squad. So now we're at the game. They both find reasons to not get in the game. Like Gary says, like, oh man, my patella. And then Wyatt's like, yeah, I don't know. I got chicken pox. There was some shit.
He pulled his groin.
Okay. Completely different. they were just like, they didn't.
Man, I got rickets. I don't know. I got to sit down. Get this boy an ice pack. Also, just one thing I think we neglected to indicate, the basketball team, when they sat down, said, if you show up to the game, we're going to stomp you into the ground. So that's why they're making up these excuses to not play. Because Gary's fully like, hey, man, I belong here, dude. I got the jacket. I got the jersey. Let's go.
He's ready to get in, man. And the coach, he can't wait to put him in. So first play, he turns over the ball. They just take his cookies. And then next play, he just shoots an air ball straight up, not even going forward, like forward motion. He just basically throws it up in the air and it falls back down.
He's passing the ball to himself. He's not shooting. And I got to go back to the layup because even as a fat basketball player, I was laying it up like a Steve. And this guy, it's embarrassing. Yeah, I almost feel like when you watched it, you'd hear a lot of like audible, "Aw," like that,
Some groans. They end up losing the game. But the coach, he is Team Gary Wyatt because they go back to the locker room. He's like, I'm sorry, the rest of the team let you guys down. And
I don't know what to tell you.
The player's like, man, what are you doing, coach? Look, these two know more about basketball than all of you combined. And the principal comes in. He's like, man, you sure you have the right idea? I mean, sending Gary and Wyatt in the game, that's They're athletically challenged, and then boom, coach decks them in the face.
Better not talk about my boy Gary like that.
Yeah.
This coach is, I mean, he's a stand-up guy. He also kicked the player who criticized Gary and Wyatt. He's off the team, Steve. That's how it's zero tolerance for that kind of shit. Because obviously, Gary especially is the next, at least Magic Johnson. At least.
Yeah. And now they're outside the principal's office, and the cheerleader tells them to quit the team. They're like, hey, we're saying nice. And then the players show up. We're not going to be so nice. Quit the team or we'll kill you.
We're not going to let you two Bonaducci's ruin the team. Which, why do you have to hate on Danny Bonaducci like that? I don't get that. I don't support that. But the principal wants them to quit. Everybody wants these guys to quit. And basically the principal's like, look, man, we've been winning for 5 years. But people love winners. If we start losing, this coach, he's out. He's out. They basically made this guy say all this stuff. He's under a spell. So they start feeling a certain way, Steve.
Your life here at Farber will be full of surprises. They go to the coach and tell him they're quitting the team. He's like, why? When it comes to hoops, we suck donkey turd.
Oh, you guys are like MJ and Scottie Pippen out there. It's pure poetry in motion. The coach does say something that's kind of not spellbound, I guess, where he's like, you know what you really have? Heart. I see you out there trying your hardest. If you guys quit, means I got to quit too.
Questioning his life's purpose. And this coach, he's just popping up everywhere. He's at the cafeteria. He's coming into their classroom. He shows up in their dreams, in their bed sometimes.
Yeah, that's questionable. Just like, hey guys, coach here. You guys looking a little dry. Let me put a little cream on. Cream those thighs up. Wyatt's like, well, you know, we're quit. We can't do this. We're gonna ruin this guy's life. But Gary's like, dude, I can't quit. No one's ever believed in me like coach has in my life, dude. I gotta show up. Now you should learn how to play basketball to do that. But I guess just showing up, Steve. That's really all you need to do.
We're at the game. I'm guessing this is the championship game. Wyatt, he's just sitting on the bench playing clothes. They told both of these guys to not even show up to the game. So while the team is up, Gary walks onto the court fully suited, and then it's just dead silence. Nobody wants him there.
I'm surprised it's not NWO status where people are just throwing garbage at him while he walks in. But he shows up, and it does go silent. But as soon as Gary gets in the huddle, the coach is like, thank God you're here, man. Even though they're up. It's like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, I thought we were going to lose this one. So basically the coach is like, dude, this is your game now. Take it over.
So he gets in the game. This dude airballs a layup again. He rolls the ball on the court, can't even dribble, and he literally launches the ball into the wall.
I mean, he's heaving the ball in the wrong direction. He's just throwing it at the ceiling. I thought he was frustrated. But that's just his game, Steve. He confuses you. And then he starts playing the game the way he should, but that's not the case. He has no game. So Lisa's sitting there watching this with Wyatt. She does like a little voodoo on his Game Gear, a little thing he has, and she's like, look, throw the basketball game in there, and you're going to control him. Maybe we'll win this game. Yeah, Wyatt's like, oh, okay. And he fumbles around, gets a game, and puts it in there, but it's not the basketball game, Steve. It's a football game. So now Gary's in the court kicking threes into the hoop like it's nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah, freaking
Melee?
Janikowski.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Vinatieri, one of them. And apparently in 94, kickball violations weren't a thing. They totally were, but not in this universe. Not at Farber High School. Because the dude, he punts a three-pointer, and then he just keeps punting three-pointers because they were down like 12 points with 2 minutes left, or might have been 21 points.
It was 21 points, Steve. Yep. But that's nothing for old goat leg McGee over here. He's kicking threes. They sit him up for a straight-up field goal kick with the basketball, and that's the game winner, Steve, from deep downtown. He's kicking these things like Vinatieri, Steve, in his prime.
Jeez. They end up winning the game from all of these punted 3-pointers.
Everybody's celebrating. The world's on fire. And you see the spell like come off the coach. And he's like pitiful. He's back to old coach. But he does throw up some props. He's like, respect the heart, kid. And the leg. I'm going to talk to the football coach and get you on there because there's something special there.
You got heart, cuz? Hey, he got heart. He got heart. The final scene, they're on cloud 9. Gary comes in. He's like, man, I own the court. And then all of a sudden, Chet pops up. Hey, look at the bench sucking butt boy.
I like anytime Chet sees Lisa, he's like, oh, I need 5 minutes. Real intense, but Lisa, you know, she ain't handling that. She turns Chet's head into a basketball and then decapitates the motherfucker, Steve.
Hey, Chet's great.
I would have loved if they like their reaction was like, oh my God, because I thought he's dead. Is his body still there or is his whole body in the basketball, Steve? These are questions we need to ask Lisa, I guess.
Give me a T. Give me an A. Give me 5 minutes. No.
All I need. Okay, Chet.
Yeah.
Butt boy, though, I'm going to start calling people that. I don't even know what it means, but people are going to get pissed off.
Also in 1994, All That premieres on Nick. 11 seasons, man.
That's crazy. It went over a decade. And one of the greatest sketch comedians of all time. This is the OG. This is where he came from, Steve.
He has to be on my Mount Rushmore of child actors, man. He was in some classics in the 90s, and he's been in this sketch thing for most of his life, man.
Most of our lives, shit.
Most of our lives.
Shout out to Heavyweights and Mighty Ducks, Good Burger, if you're into it.
Keenan and Kel.
Hell yeah, dude. All that, though. Such a quality show for Nickelodeon. The theme song's done by damn TLC, which is just another cherry on top, which is badass. Goated, basically. This is SNL for us, man, when we were a little kid. This is everything, because I loved SNL as a kid. So the fact they were making it for us, that was dope, man. And to be honest with you, when you watch it, I mean, it's kid humor, but I'm digging it, man. And they kind of have that Mr. Show thing where sometimes sketches lead into sketches, you know?
We start off with this shoe sketch where Lori Beth Denberg, she's got on some new Air light ups. And then Josh Server comes in like, oh, check out this dude. He's got the cool lights. Yeah, they pump lights. And on the back, they got a stereo and a CD player. And then here comes Kale. He walks out. Mine has a hydraulic pump and a frozen yogurt dispenser. Ooh, ooh.
Did Exhibit pimp out your shoes, y'all? But they can't even. This little girl shows up with damn RoboCop boots with the damn jetpack. So this is it, Steve. But I mean, I love me some pumps, but I think if I could have some frozen yogurt on top of that, how much these cost?
I always looked at her as Victoria Jackson Jr.
That little girl's face, I swear to God, she became famous as an older person and is like somebody that we've seen. I feel like she did some after this. But great opening sketch. Then we get the TLC. This is that. Another great theme song. Pay attention, working girl. In TLC. So good. And then we get into right off the bat, Steve. In the pilot episode, we get Baggin, Saggin, Barry, one of the heavy hitters of this show that I remember. I'm 42, almost 43. No, I am 43, Steve. I still remember Baggin, Saggin, Barry.
Very apropos to start this off with Keenan sketch, man, because we see first that Kel is the head of the scout. He's the scoutmaster, I guess, and he's trying to show them how to start up a fire to create light. But Baggin, Saggin, Barry, he pulls a lantern out of his pants.
Yeah. Well, it's dark times. They thought they're lost, Steve. So the kids are panicking. Barry's like, "What are y'all worried about? You let there be light." I mean, is this guy God? Because he's pulling everything out. He's got a light. One of the chicks is like, "Man, I want a tuna salad sandwich," and he doesn't pull a sandwich out, but he pulls a tuna out and a baguette and some mayo
and 2-liter sodas. Kel's like, what if a bear comes out? Now you gonna run to Baggy Saggy Barry or me? And then Baggy Saggy Barry, he pulls out a tent.
Yeah, and then we cut to later. Dude had a TV with at least 1,000 channels on it. Freaking 2 lazy boys, pool table, a ping pong setup. He's got a better living room than I do, Steve.
Got a whole arcade in there, man. And they love Barry. They pledge allegiance to Barry and his pants. Barry, he saves the day because the helicopter comes to get him out of the woods.
And then Kel's like, being around you, Barry, just made me realize I should have had a kid. And in a move that I couldn't have predicted, Baggin, Saggin, Barry has a newborn baby in his pants, Steve. Just chilling for this time. And he gives them to Kel. I think he shed a tear.
Knowing that this is produced by Dan Schneider, everything is questionable. The baby out of the pans. But after this, we get a Sinbad cutaway. Like, this is so cool, man. They really paid attention to every possible detail.
Now, this
like,
is all that.
It really is, man, Mr. Bad. The next sketch, we have Katrina the bouncer at Lucky Cheese. And apparently you need a RSVP to get into Lucky Cheese.
And don't F around because this chick's like a mini roadhouse. She'll 1-2 piece your ass into the ground. And she suffers no fools, Steve. Katrina, you're not getting in unless you got a res, which Phil Moore should have known. Host of Nick Arcade, who shows up. I mean, this is Phil Moore, Steve. This is bam, 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 bam. The freestyle king of Nickelodeon. And he's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm Phil Moore. And she's like, who? She's like, Phil Moore, host of Nick Arcade. And I love this. She's like, oh my God, can I touch you? And he's like, that's kind of weird, but yeah, I guess. And she does, Steve, but she touches him by putting him in a headlock and whooping his ass.
And yeets him out of there.
You don't step in line like that. Get to the back of the line.
And then when he comes back, she's like, oh, you hurt my leg. She's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. And then she kicks him and bops him on the head.
Beep. Yep. I'd let the man in, to be honest with you. I feel like the bona fides of being the Nick Arcade host. I'll tell you what. You let me into that final level thing and let me play around in that a little bit, you're in. But not Katrina, Steve. But then we get Joey Lawrence, Steve. Whoa. No, that's all that. Whoa.
The cutaways, man. Now we have Urkel versus Urkel. It's Angelique Bates and Kel Mitchell. And they basically just come out saying a bunch of Urkel sayings.
I mean,
but it's good.
High when I watched it. They were doing great, but it was getting me. I was actually freaking out a little bit. It's like the Matrix broke, but they're doing a good job. The girl kind of outdid Kel, though.
She did. Angelique Bates did her thing, man. And to the point where it sounded like they got a standing ovation. Like, we didn't see the audience, but they got a loud pop from that, man. And it's a quick sketch. And then after that, we get to Annie, little orphan Annie. And she's singing her song, come out to my room. And then all of a sudden she gets rained on. Or was that rain?
I think it was flour, but this is like a recurring thing that they keep bringing back.
Now we get a cutaway from Brian Austin Green.
The bag, dude.
The bag. Like, I don't know what public opinion is of dude, but I've always thought Brian Austin Green was a cool ass dude, man. Because if you were on any of those Teen Bop or girl magazines, it's guaranteed you had a hose in different area codes way before Ludacris.
He was a DJ in Beverly Hills in the 90s, Steve. DJ Bag.
There we go.
And also, I just, quick aside, because I'm white and aging like a banana in the sun, he's actually aging pretty well for a white dude, Steve, because he's probably a good 10 years older than us and looks 10 years younger than us.
It's all those pussy juices throughout the 90s, man.
It is, man. Damn, Bags, he's gonna live forever then. He's immortal from the
just like JTT.
And now we're in Miss Fingerly's class. Her rule is if you got something, share it with the class. Because we see Josh Server, he's chewing on gum. It's like, well, you'll have to bring some for the rest of the class. And then we cut to Angelique. She's listening to her stereo. She asks, like, did you bring some for the rest of the class? She's like, actually, I did.
Radios? Did you bring one for everyone? And she did, Steve. Hell yeah. Thanks, Angelique. I needed one. I needed a nice new Iowa to blast some music.
Iowa?
Hell yeah. Somebody else shows up with some pudding cups. Everybody gets a pudding cup, Steve. And actually, it's not pudding cups. It's a wheelbarrow full of pudding, Steve. Buffet. Don't look too deep into the pudding. Oh, I'm getting sleepy.
Kel's like, man, I also brought my little brother. You couldn't find a babysitter. It's like, well, you know the rule. I sure do. So he comes back with a little brother for everybody. Everybody gets a little bro.
They emptied out Dan Schneider's sex dungeon. Oh! Dan Schneider, man. We need to have a whole episode about that. But Miss Fingerly, another banger from all that. This was a long-running character, too. And Lori Beth, she's one of the queens of all that.
She runs headfirst into a wheelbarrow of pudding. Another cutaway, Miss Jenna Von Oy. 6, if you will.
Hello, 6. So sexy. And then we get a little Dan Schneider cameo, Steve, because this is the Gooey leftover sketch where it's like
of course he was.
Yeah. And he kind of comes out. He's kind of in like a sleep fog. He's walking to the fridge. It's glowing, Ghostbusters style. There's some sinister music playing. And he opens it up real slow and just bust a nut, really, Steve. Maybe there was some CP in that fridge, but he's like, oh. So,
and that was his third round.
Yeah. Glorp. That's what he says, Steve.
And after that, it's like a crime investigation. They got the kitchen taped off.
There's semen everywhere.
These are their stories. Don't. Keenan's grilling them. So what happened? It was the meatloaf. Oh, they ate meatloaf with what? Macaroni, cheese, peas. Well, when did you make it? Yesterday. Tuesday. About 3 weeks ago.
It's glorp.
If you don't eat it, it eats you.
It's and glorp actually is an acronym, Steve. Gooey leftover refrigerator puss. So you get that glorp on you, and we saw what happened to Schneid Dog. So apparently the crystals and the thermostatic fluid in modern fridges, this is coming from Keenan the scientist, it turns leftovers into this glorp shit, which looks like Ivan Ooze stuff from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. That's what glorp is. So they're looking around. There's glorp everywhere, Steve. Dan Schneider glorped all over the place. They're working the trail. They follow it into a little closet, and Dan Schneider's in the closet glorping everything. It looks like he blew Grimace. He's just
And Barney.
Yeah, something happened. But he's just sitting in there, glorp to hell, making ambulance sounds. He's like, wee, and I don't know, Steve. I don't get it.
We cut back to Sinbad. They crazy.
Yeah. Man, that Dan Schneider motherfucker crazy.
His feet everywhere. And back to Annie. She's singing her song again. And then all of a sudden she just blows up.
This chick can't finish the song. And then we cut to another thing that I remember from this, Earboy, Steve, which I know is triggering. I know.
I've never forget it. All these jokes I've heard. Of course I did, because I had big ears.
But you didn't have Ross Perot to talk you down from the ledge. Ross Perot, fellow big ear guy, talks to Earboy, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. He's got a lot of visual aids like Ross Perot had, but it's not jiving. You know, can I finish? Can I finish?
See, this is Dumbo. This is you. This is Dumbo. This is you. Anybody that talks about your ears is worse than a donkey flea on a donkey's behind. See, this is a toilet. This is you. This is you. This is the toilet.
So he gets whatever that is from Ross Perot, but he also gets a giant Q-tip, Steve, which appropriately maybe somebody should have given you with those big ass.
Grandereas, as they would call them in Spanish. And I don't know, for some reason, Earboy's licking the toilet.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to figure out how to get swirly to fit those ears in, but we do see that at some point soon he's going to meet a couple of amigos that are fellow freaks. There's Pizza Face, there's Four Eyes, who is insane looking, and it's like legitimate like horror material, and Metal Mouth, who's just a chick with crazy braces. So he's gonna have some freak friends, but right now it's just he's just got to figure it out, Steve. And I'm sure, like, is this what you did? You had to figure out the world with just big ass fucking Dumbo ears.
I had to find a way to be funny, so I could find how people can laugh with me instead of at me. So there was always comedy, and then I played sports. I wore fly gear. I had the fresh kicks, fresh, you know what I'm saying? So you know how a kid's mind work. Oh my God, you have the new J's? You're cool.
Yeah. See, I was fat, so I was the same way. I defaulted to comedy, but there was no sports stuff. But I got to be honest with you, Steve, from knowing you for so long, and I just remember like meeting you or seeing you in junior high when you started in Perrysburg, never clocked the ears at all. I think this is something that I think this is something you were holding on to, but I never noticed it.
It was more a grade school thing. I think as I got into middle school, it became less of a thing, and then high school became. I still have them. People still kind of call them out from here to here, but yeah, man, it became less of a thing as we got older. But now we're back to Annie. She's singing her song again, and then all of a sudden, it looks like Men in Black, but Men in Black didn't come out to '97.
I think she threatened the president. I think these are Secret Service agents, Steve. Which clock? She's also a very, very intense bouncer, so she's capable of violence. But then we cut to Mavis and Clavis.
Oh,
I also love Mavis and Clavis, Keenan and Kel, the all stars, the heavy hitters. And they're just
Scotty
two
and
old
Mike.
guys, man. They're just two old guys just loving life, hanging out, talking, not hearing each other. It's funny, but they're here to introduce the stars, Steve.
When was the last time you heard some music that made you shake your booty? Well, I was in the tub soaking my corns, listening to the radio, then it fell in the tub, and I was shaking my booty and everything else.
Oh, that's probably one of the best introductions TLC's ever gotten, because they do come out and sing Friends. It's TLC, Steve.
Will they let you down? Yeah.
Friends, do a podcast with, talk about 90 shit. We watched this on YouTube, so I don't know how you can consume. I didn't watch it on Paramount. Love seeing the musical part of it too, SNL. Looking at
you hear that? Lorne, NBC Universal, always trying to block my edits, and I got to go back to Adobe Premiere.
Very
NBC
litigious.
Universal.
And I was fired by NBC Universal, Steve, so I have an extra bone to pick with them.
That makes me even more pissed off. Here's the thing too, man. TLC, I find them to be the greatest girl group of all time. Actually, their Crazy Sexy Cool album is the highest grossing album of any girl group. And that's something you don't see nowadays. When I talk to these new millennials, these Zsters, they're like, oh, the 90s. Well, it was like, all right, man, tell me your current favorite girl group. Oh, they don't exist anymore, because in my day, we had TLC, we had Escape, we had En Vogue, we had SWV. None of that now.
It phased out, dude. Destiny's Child killed it, because everybody's like, what does it matter? We're just going to break up and one of us is going to be very famous and whatnot. But I'm with you. TLC, also what I like, because we see it in this, they're doing stuff that is cool. They're on this show just having fun too. They don't just do an appearance and do their song. They show up in another sketch and lend a little something extra to it, which I loved. And also, they're so great. Down a chick, they're still out there trying to do shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are. They're still kind of relevant. People still love them. They're that good. But you're right. I mean, that's just true of music in general. I mean, we're old and stuff is just better from our time, but nobody's making shit like that. Nobody's making love songs or anything. I hate it, Steve. I'm old.
And they don't even use metaphor like the R&B songs now. They're pretty direct. It's basically they might as well have songs like "Let's Fuck," like whereas back in the day, man, like you would have to like put the pieces together. Oh, they're talking about that. Oh, now it's just like, yeah, let's go to the back of the truck and have the sex.
Let me put it in you.
Jeez.
There's no subtext, Steve.
The final skit we have Leap Froggy Frog.
Hell yeah, dude.
Froggy Froggy Frog.
He's got a Froggy style the album, Steve. It's just Snoop Dogg as a frog, Steve.
Is Kermit your dad? That's a rumor. Kermit is a puppet.
Kids used to tease me, beat me up. Then one day I'm watching MTV and I saw Criss Cross perform Jump. And it inspired me. I was like, I jump. Why can't I do that? And he does, Steve. Next thing you know, he's got a new album, Froggy Style. He's got a new movie called I'm Gonna Get You Tadpole. Love that. And brand new TV series called Cold Chillin' at the Lily Pad, Steve. This guy's
That's
on
a
top of
must-watch.
the world.
Excuse me, I caught a frog in my throat. I find that offensive. Hold up, let me get a snack right quick. He goes to the wall and grabs for a fly. You hungry? No, I'm good. Oh, so you don't eat flies, but you eat frog legs. Get out my face.
Froggy, froggy, froggy. And then he calls TLC and they're his like fly chicks, Steve.
Fly chicks, yes. Oh, so cool, so crazy, so sexy.
Nasty. And that's it. But this is a hell of a premiere episode. We get Phil Moore from Nick Arcade, which I love that. A little cross promotion. It sets the tone. This is it.
And then in 1996, Rage Against the Machine would release their second album, Evil Empire, and the world would never be the same again.
Yeah, I remember when my buddy Matt brought this to my attention, and I remember the album art, the weird kid, the yellow background and stuff. Again, there were some of these albums that when you and your buddies found them, it was just that. There was nothing else being put on. And that was this for us for a long time. When you read about this, that's why I was saying about Zach De La Rocca. I mean, even when he's talking about that image behind you, what he says about it is so deep and like thoughtful that it's like, man, even that, the artists, they do the thing, but they're not sitting here thinking about like, oh, what's like this album art? Because that's a famous picture, Steve. Even the name is like from a Ronald Reagan presidential speech, which is great. And it's just one of those things where it's like, in a way, makes me feel kind of shitty because it's like I'm not even capable of thinking on these many deep levels. And when you're that smart and also a badass singer or guitar player, it just makes sense that this band is that good.
It's such a big part of my life, man, to the point where I would end up being in a tribute band of this band, Priest of Hiroshima. And we ended up being an original band that stemmed from our cover days and made some good money, man. Went around Southeast Houston or Southeast Texas. And man, this album, I hadn't listened to it in a while because of me being just so overexposed to it, performing those songs, revisiting it, man. I forget the other tracks. Down Rodeo. These people ain't seen a brown skinned man since their grandparents bought one. Oh my God.
I mean, People of the Sun is like equally as good too. You don't have to skip anything. And when you actually are sitting there like analyzing what they're saying and like all of it, it's even more impressive. It just has not degraded at all. It's gotten better, honestly. And it's kind of sad because the world hasn't improved, but it's more relevant now. I feel like it's as relevant now as it was then, even more so. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I hope I get to see them live someday. That's something that's a wish for mine. So
Maybe one day we can go to that same concert, man, because I love these guys. On that same day in 96, Local H would release As Good as Dead. And you just don't get it. You go sad and you look to accept it enough. It's so pathetic. We saw them, remember, Matt?
Born to be down. Where?
Oh my, I knew you wouldn't remember. It was some place in Toledo that probably doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was like a little bar place.
Yep. And Elliot's band opened up for
That's
him.
what it was. It was, I knew we were going to see something else. Hell yeah. I'll tell you one thing that I always remember about this. The cover art creeped me out. I don't like the look of this kid. Was that the only song, Steve?
No, man. They also did You High Fiving Motherfucker. You high fiving motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You high fiving motherfucker. Dude, and at the time when we went to this concert, I had dreads, which you probably don't remember that. Nobody remembers me having dreads.
I remember that.
You do?
I remember that. Now that you bring it up, it's not something I would recall immediately, though.
So when they made this album, they were like a two-piece. It was the main guy and then the drummer. The drummer was a black guy. So we're at this concert, and some people came up to me thinking I was the drummer, because they had replaced drummers by the time we saw him. I was like, no, dude, I'm totally not him, man. And then we actually, dude, and there was an after party in the hotel. Actually, we talked to the dude, the main guy, man. I'm gonna get his name, Scott Lucas.
Yeah,
Scott Lucas is the guy. So he went to the, like, I guess, after party hotel room, and I walked up to him like, hey, man, people kept saying I look like the original drummer. He's like, man, you do kind of look like him. And it was just cool, like, just talking to that dude, because I listened to his song. Like, they used to play that on our local radio station on Buzz, man. And I thought these guys were local. I thought they were a Toledo band because this was heavy on the rotation, man.
That one song that you sang, like, that's a banger. They still play that on the radio now. Like even if that was their one hit, they killed it. But the cover of the album, I don't know. I don't like that.
And also in 96, Master P would release Ice Cream Man.
And it's got a fabulous cover, too. It's got a very No Limit cover, Steve. It looks like something that my special needs niece
this is the beginning of that, man. Like the whole No Limit cover. This was like the test. They tested this out. So now after that, let's get these big Cavassier bottles and limousines and let's throw the White House in the background, dude. Like they were just throwing. This was like trying Photoshop out. Like
I need more money in the foreground.
Big booty bitches. Yeah. Let's throw some of those. Why not?
Cover neon orange too, so you can see it.
Yeah, contrasting neons. It's a small hood, but it's all good. And Mr. Rogers ain't got shit up for my neighborhood.
I mean, I'm a ghetto D stan, so this is not. That's where he went mainstream, Steve.
Ghetto D and the Last Don could suck the Ice Cream Man's dong. This album from front to back and side to side, Matt. Damn, how G's ride. Time for a 187. You damn right, Percy. It half on a bag of dank. And Mr. Ice Cream Man.
He's an ice cream man.
Killer Pussy.
The UGK song is. I knew that even before I ever saw or listened to any other tracks. I forget what it is.
Break 'em off some. Break 'em off some.
Titles of the songs too. Time to check my crack house, Steve.
It is.
The Master P compilation you've been waiting for, including killer hits like Killer Pussy. Time to check the crack house.
Uncle P is giving us sound advice, man. Watch these hoes because you really do. You really do need to watch these hoes. Also, things ain't what they used to be, Steve. I hear that, P. I'll give a sound to that. Let's not forget, Steve, that Master P might be one of the first people to really translate
rapping into just being an entrepreneur, Steve. Just being like a business aficionado.
Dude, he lived out every hood dream. He was a rapper, successful producer. He played in the NBA, and he was in wrestling.
And he was in a Nick Cage movie, Steve. He was in Gone in 60 Seconds. He was heavily featured in that.
And he started producing. We just talked about a movie he produced last week. Foolish. Man,
Yeah.
he lived out his dream, man. And like, he's very, I don't know what public opinion is of P. I feel like he's a good dude. I mean, I never heard any smut, I mean, from any of his workers or his artists, but man, he did it all. He even put his friends on, he put his brothers on,
Put his son on, Steve.
put his son on, his seeds, man, to the point where his son got a show on Nickelodeon. Little Romeo.
Yeah, dude. And he was the voice of ICDC College in LA, one of like those universities.
Need to take some courses.
ICDC College. He had a fire ass theme song on that too. If you lived in LA, that was a dope ass commercial.
We got those in Houston.
Yeah, dude. P, I got nothing bad to say. If this ain't no P. This P, let me hear you say.
And finally, in 1999, Life premieres. In 1932, two strangers are wrongfully convicted and develop a strong friendship in prison that lasts them through the 20th century. Directed by Ted Demme, starring Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, and a slew of others.
Ned Beatty, Miguel Nunez up in this. I mean, is Miguel Nunez also rich as hell, I hope? Because this guy's also prolific as hell.
It helps when you're friends with Martin and Eddie.
Yeah, dude. And Clarence Williams III, Steve. Ah, yes.
Bernie Mac. Jingling, jingling. They call me Jingling, jingling, jingling. Can't Do Right. Bokeem Woodbine.
Arlie Ermy. Rick James.
Rick James, bitch. Freaking Anthony Anderson. This was his feature film debut.
Heavy D's up in this, too.
Heavy D.
He's the one that figures out they got away.
Who? Guy Torry?
Yeah. Man, Guy Torry also, dude.
Dude, Guy Torry, he was quietly killing it, man.
Yeah, he was in American History X. He's in movies you don't realize he's in so many movies. He's one of those guys. Also funny as stand-up comedian as well. Martin and Eddie, both prolific careers and a bunch of stuff. I love them both. I don't think this is necessarily the best that either of them have made. I love this movie though. But the one thing that makes me not watch it as much, I feel like it's a bummer. It's a bummer to watch sometimes. Like just watching these guys like get fucked over and get old and have to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all comedy. There's a lot of fun shit in it, a lot of heart in it. But at the end of the day, man, like it's a bum out because these guys just get fucked over.
Because if you look at the plot at its core, it really is sad, man. They got framed for a murder. They spend most of their life in jail, man, to the point where by the time they get out, dude, they're senior citizens.
And that's one thing I wanted to ask because in the movie, they're in jail in like the 40s, you know, 30s.
Yeah.
They get out in the 90s. How old? So are they in their 90s?
I mean, they'd like have to be,
right?
Unless they were in their 20s, then they'd be in their 80s. Yeah.
But they do it so well because they'll like throw you into something. They kind of like get through a situation and then and it's the bum out part. You see all the things that they missed in the world that happened. Like there's a moment like at the later part of the movie where Martin's like driving around the prison guy and he's been a jailbird through everything, through the civil rights. He sees all these black people like out just having fun. And then he like looks at himself and like his reflection, how old he is and stuff. And I mean, it's a good drama too. And the one thing that's great about it, full circle by the end, we get a low-level Django situation where the scumbag asshole white dude gets his. You want it to be Martin and Eddie shooting him, but I like that the prison guard white dude, Ned Beatty, actually has like a conscience and just blows dude away at the end, which, spoiler alert, that's what happens to Arlie Ermy. But I like that. It makes a lot of the misery you see okay. The bad guy gets his, and at least you get that satisfaction.
It wasn't all for naught.
Yeah.
And also, I caught Venus de Milo, Miss Telly, again from Salute Your Shore. She was one of the waitresses at the juke joint. Like early, it's a blinking you missed it scene where I think it was Eddie that grabs on her. She's like, "Oh, get off me!" But I always loved her.
Sanaa Lathan's in it too. Another.
How could I forget? I'm so
and
sorry, Sanaa.
Team Woodbine's in it too.
I said
Another.
that.
Did you say him? Okay, my
Can't
bad.
get right. He's the one that had the baby with the I guess plantation owner or whatever, his
That's
daughter.
a great scene though when the plantation owner finds out it's a boy. It's a boy. And the doctor and the wife are like, yeah,
Yes, it's a
he's
boy.
alive.
And this is the last of this Eddie. This is the Eddie that I grew up watching, man. The raunchy Eddie. Why you gotta say nasty shit, Ray? Because I'm a nasty motherfucker. This is before he got deep into the whole like Disney, like family friendly flicks. And I get that too, because as you get older, you have kids, you have grandkids. You want your grandkids to be able to look at the screen, be like, oh, there's Pawpaw. And but man, I miss that Eddie, man. I wish that Eddie would cut the Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious, the 80s Eddie. And something I noticed, man, another thing that makes this movie great is because you have the GOAT of the 80s and, in my opinion, Martin, the GOAT of the 90s combined. How could you lose, man?
And I will say, like, the world loves this combination. And my only thing when you have those two guys in a movie, this movie's fantastic. Boomerang also fantastic. So when you put these two guys together, it's great. We even get like that Eddie put on some makeup and look a little different. It's only aging, but I think that's cool too. When they're acting older and stuff, and it's almost like that grumpy old man situation where they're just giving each other shit and like hating on each other the whole time, but they love each other. They're boys and stuff. It's one of those movies. It's a confusing movie for me to talk about because I do like it a lot, but man, is it a bum out to watch too. Because there's those moments where they're getting older and stuff, and maybe it's because I'm getting older, but it's like, damn, fuck,
man, you gonna eat your cornbread?
They get to go see the Yankees at the end, Steve.
Any callbacks for this week, Matt?
Steve, it's been a busy week, but I'm going to use my callback to just give a shout out to Dan Hedaya, who just dominating the 90s, Steve. And then coming into the 2000s, he was the dad in Night at the Roxbury. He's got comedy chops too. So he's in Shaft. So Dan Hedaya, let me get some of that money, Dan.
In 1994, SNL was airing the episode with Pearl Jam as the musical guest and Emilio Estevez as the host. And this was an instant classic, man. I like the Family Feud. Or no, it wasn't a Family Feud, but it was like a game show where it was Dweeb, Dork, or like Spaz or something like that. And they're trying to guess which one this person is. So when Emilio comes out, Adam Sandler, he's like the tough guy, the tough contestant. He's like, oh, yeah, you didn't play ball? Like, oh, no, because you're a little girl? Like, no, because I beat up the whole basketball team and I killed. Like, it was just. There are a couple skits in this, man, but yeah, that one was great. And Smart Guy is airing episode Brother Brother, where the twins, T and Tamara, they come in for a cameo, visit their little bros sitcom, and Marcus, he comes up with this great plan to make himself a twin, and he just basically wears different wardrobes so he can date both of them.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's 3D chess, Steve.
Yeah, but please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister she can't have my cornbread. She gonna take my cornbread. It's gonna be some consequences and repercussions in this motherfucker. Please check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushgasm every Wednesday with Kendra G, our guy Clark the Shark on podcast, and Wrestler with Ronzilla on TikTok. This is Steve G and Matt G with
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah.
I'm a nice man.